I've shifted all of my design work over to the browser-based CAD tool Onshape. I liked it so much that I reached out to them to try to be a part of their affiliate program. This software requires no installs, does not need a powerful computer to run, and has great community support and community-made features. And best of all, it's free to access. If you want to learn how to use this free software to get started 3D modeling, there's many resources online to get started. In this video, I'm going to annotate my step-by-step process of designing some keycaps from scratch in Onshape. If you follow along, you can make your own with any decal or words on the top. Like I said, Onshape is the CAD system that I use. You can try Onshape Pro for free for up to 6 months by using the link in the description. While the software is free to use, the professional version allows private file storage, release management, an advanced version of their already great PDM, and many more features. Feel free to use my affiliate link to try out the professional version for free. No credit card required. Let's get started actually using the program. So Onshape is a bit different from traditional CAD, where in Onshape you create a document and then within the document you start with a Part Studio tab and an Assembly tab. Part Studios are where you model parts, where in most traditional CAD software you create part files and can only model one part at a time. The benefit of a Part Studio is if you are modeling a few parts that mate together, you can model them in the same window to ensure that everything is aligned properly and fits as intended. In this video, I'll only be making one part per Part Studio. You can also have several Part Studios within one document. The Assembly tabs are where you can put multiple parts together from various Part Studios or even documents and ensure proper fitment of the assembled components. For this video, we're not going to be using any assemblies, but just so you know, it's there. In our Part Studio, the first thing we want to do is create a sketch. This is a 2D drawing that we will define and then extrude to create a 3D block. Once we create and dimension the sketch, we can close it and then use the extrude command to define how thick we want our block. We'll now make more sketches on the faces of this block to essentially carve from it and turn it into the shape of a keycap. I'm taking the dimensions from a keycap I have, measuring it with a caliper. Once the 3D model looks like the external shape of the keycap, I'm going to use the shell tool to hollow it out while removing the bottom face. In this tool, I select the face that I want removed and then the wall thickness, and then my keycap is closer to reality. Now I'm going to sketch the geometry of the interface I need to have it properly sit on the mount of the keyboard switch. Once I sketch and extrude this, the blank keycap model is basically complete. If you want, you can slope the top a bit with another extruded cut, and then add fillets on the edges to round them out to match how a normal keycap looks. One more cool feature of Onshape is configurations. I can easily suppress or get rid of the curved cutout on top of the keycap if I want it flat. But what if I also want to keep the option of a curved top if I want to print another one later? If I make a configuration, I can just suppress that feature with a toggle button. That way I have both part representations present in this Part Studio without having to completely redesign anything. Now I'm going to add my logo to the top of the keycap. To do this, I have to import the image into the document or anywhere in Onshape. Then, while in a sketch, I use the Insert Image tool, find it, and then select it. I can define how large I want it by dimensioning a rectangle that represents the bounds of the image. Once the image is in, I can simply trace it using the sketch tools such as lines, circles, splines, and even text. Now, I don't think the exact font I used on my logo is present in Onshape, but I'm going to match it as best as I can. Once this sketch is done, I'm going to once again use the extrude tool and select the sketch regions that I want to add thickness to, and then extrude it onto the rounded face. And add a starting offset so it protrudes by just the right amount. Since the designs in my logo is too small to be 3D printed, I'm just going to get rid of it and then finalize the model. I also didn't really like how it looked once I sliced it to be on the curved keycap, so I used that nifty configuration that I set before to quickly make it on a flat keycap instead. Once I made those changes, the keycap is done and I can export it to an STL so it can be printed. I'm going to print both versions to show how both came out. To print these, I'm using a Bambu Labs A1 with a 0.2mm nozzle and regular PLA. They both came out pretty well and fit perfectly on my keyboard. Using the same methodology as I demonstrated in this video, I made a custom Hollow Knight Silksong keycap design that I wanted to print out. I'm actually extremely happy with how this looks and impressed that such a cheap printer can produce this quality. Bambu Labs isn't a sponsor, but hey, it would be great if they were. Just by copying what I did in this video, you can make a keycap similar or even better to the ones that I made, all in a free software that you can access the professional version for 6 months without any payment. If you want to help the channel, use the link in the description to access this free trial. Otherwise, feel free to use the free version in Onshape and get started making some keycaps. If you want me to make more videos showing 3D modeling tutorials within Onshape so you can get better, more in-depth tutorials of the basics of CAD 3D modeling, leave a comment below and subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you so much for checking out this video and have a great rest of your day.